Yeah, just keep on talking about what your panel, the state of HR. You moderated
Absolutely.
it, and why you felt it was so impactful and important for people to have that conversation.
Absolutely, Ty. I just really feel like there's often a disconnect between the people strategy and the business strategy, right?
Yes.
And so when we have these things that we want people to adopt, I always tell people, even in talent management, we can create the most robust frameworks and
Yes.
all the research and all of this evidence-based strategies. But if we don't have engaged people to actually execute them,
Right.
then we fall short. We've wasted a bunch of time, a lot of resources.
Yeah.
We have something that looks pretty, but the people are not
Yes.
adopting it.
They are not
So then
adopting.
we ended up,
Right, and really what happens is what I'm hearing you say is that they like circumnavigate
oh,
the
absolutely.
system, the beautiful system
Oh,
that we have
absolutely.
spent all these
All
millions
the
and billions of dollars on.
1,000 I see it all the time. I
Yeah.
worked for very large organizations,
Yes.
one being IBM, a great organization. I learned a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of systems and processes in place. But we had one tool we spent. By the time that we had let it go, we had spent $10 million in this
Wow.
process in this tool.
Wow.
And it just never got off the ground
Right.
because we did not integrate the people in it in the
Yes.
beginning,
Yes.
right? Or
Yeah.
earlier in the process.
Right.
And so that when we went out to the organization with it, people are like, well, no, but doing it this way
Right.
works, or
Yes.
just all these things. So we
Right.
just have to do that process
Yeah,
earlier.
and I think you said before it's about bridging that gap. So
It's
talk
bridging
about
the gap.
talk about that
Absolutely. And it's what it is. And how you bridge the gap is bringing the conversations together early in the
Early.
process. That's just
Yes.
it, right?
Amen.
So we have strategy. Of course, you
Yes.
have your leaders. You have to create the strategy,
Right.
but leaders will often benefit from having just open ideate sessions with resource groups. Are your resource groups? You got people that are bought into your organization.
Yeah.
They are bought into the mission of what you have going on.
Right.
So you have a sample size right there.
Right.
Oftentimes from different parts of the business.
Yes.
Right. So you just create these ideate sessions. These are the things that we're thinking about doing.
Yes.
What would make this? What would make your job easier?
Easier. Yeah.
And so then you start to have that conversation
Yeah.
just earlier. That's it.
So you bring to mind something that I always say, right? There's a difference between building a system versus building a solution.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And if we want a true solution, it's about bringing those people to the table early,
1,000%.
having their ideas. And I know we can't bring everyone to the table.
Right, you can't.
Yeah.
That's what I say. You got your a subset of
Yes.
people, different parts of the business,
Yeah.
different roles and responsibilities, and different levels, right? So
Yes.
we're not all at your VP level.
Right.
We're at the people that are actually, a range of
Yes.
individuals.
Yes.
And I think that, and when you do that, because to your point, you can build a system, right? So I've been in HR for the last 15 years, but I started my career in sales. And I
Okay.
was in sales for many years. And when I went into HR, I was supporting the sales team that I worked for.
Gotcha.
I loved that because I understood that business. I
Yeah.
knew the pressure those business leaders were under.
Right.
I knew the process. I knew the services we offered, the
Yeah.
product. So you really got to have, now that's part of HR too, though. Us as HR leaders, we have to understand the business.
Yeah.
In order for our business leaders
dang.
to really respect us as
Yes.
consultants, and they need to know
Right.
that you understand what's going on for
Right.
them. Because what happens is we get off in our little silo,
Right.
and we create a system, to your point, and not including
Right.
the business
Right.
aspect. So yeah.
And so I felt like the panel that you moderated was so very important to have because I spent my life in IT.
Okay.
But I was implementing most of the time IT solutions, right? So ERP system,
Okay.
workforce development systems, well, not workforce development, workforce timekeeping systems.
Okay,
So
okay.
Chronos, things like that. So
Yeah.
people clocking it out, which affects your payroll.
Absolutely.
So I really got to see the ins and outs, not only of payroll, finance, but HR. And it was so important to have those HR leaders leading the charge, right?
Absolutely.
And making sure that people understood, like you said, the why behind it, recasting the vision, because let's say if it's a 3-year-long implementation, how many times do you have to tell people the why behind
Absolutely,
it?
because you get new players all the
All
time.
the time. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, and I totally agree. That's why I love that you had the state of HR at a conference kind of primarily around project managers
Yes.
because again we talked about that linkage,
Yes.
why that's so important.
Yes.
But also again, like I say, mentioning that HR, the people that are, hopefully in the strategy conversation,
Right.
understands the business.
Right.
So it's the two part of it. Like I
Right.
say, when I was having the conversation, it energized me because I see that you all understand, you all feel like people should be first also.
Right. Yes.
And then probably in the last, I don't know, 10 years, HR, HR has kind of gone through this like metamorphosis where it's less about using individuals as resources,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are called now chief people leaders.
Yes.
Now we're calling it people. Like I work for Siemens, we were people in organization.
Okay.
Organizations are understanding that we have to focus on people,
Yes.
because it's the people that really will make it or break it.
They are truly resources.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I love when, like I say,
Yeah.
I'm people first all day of the
Yes.
week, and I
Yeah.
think now that we're kind of understanding that, because
Yes.
even with my daughter's cheerleading team, I had
Yeah.
to tell her, you have to telling the coach that I work with, you have to look at these as individuals,
Yes.
like they are focusing on the people. And I
Right.
always tell people, and I tell leaders that I coach, if you focus on the people people will focus on your process.
Yes.
Like, so you don't have to manage process or micromanage.
Ooh.
If you are focusing in developing people,
Yes.
the people will the people will develop your business.
That's a whole sermon.
Yeah.
Look, now you can look in the camera. That's
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Crystal, I know you have to go, but I do appreciate not only you moderating the panel, taking the
Absolutely.
time out to
Thank
be here,
you.
and then being on the Execution is the Vibe podcast.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been great.
Yes.
I'm very excited to see where this is going. And I
Yes.
look forward to being involved again.
Yes, it's all about
Yeah.
bridging the gap. Thank you for helping me do
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you.
All right.